Hello, welcome back to Tale 3 Cabins. I'm down in Tennessee right now. We got in Friday night. Karen and I with the dog. We had to come in early for an HOA meeting, but our cabin was already being rented, so we stayed in a hotel off the freeway. And I'll tell you, that was a big mistake. We hardly got any sleep, a lot of noise. We had to find something that would accommodate our dog. But we got to our cabin yesterday, Saturday, and went to the HOA meeting. And you're looking at the new president of the HOA. This is going to be a new experience for me. We've got some issues that we got to take care of. I'm heading over to one of the other board members right now, and we're going to go over our water system, because that's one of the issues. See where the wells are, the pumps are, and exactly what goes into getting water to our cabins. So we got a lot of other things going on. We've got to decorate for Christmas and some other projects, so come check it out. Well, it all starts about a mile down the mountain as the crow flies, and our well is down there. This is where the well pump pumps into a holding tank here. So the water gets filtered and it gets treated before it gets sent up to the top of the mountain. It's tested frequently, both in-house and by the state of Tennessee. So just recently, some of the pumps have been changed to be controlled by Wi-Fi, which before they were controlled by a wire that went from our HOA down to the cabin here, and that wire broke somewhere. This is back on top of the mountain, and various cabins in our HOA have basements in them, and in the basements they store water for us. On an average day, the pump down by the well will pump about 24,000 gallons up the mountain and put it in these storage tanks. And of course the use is going to vary depending on the time of the year. Probably our busiest week would most likely be the 4th of July. There's also cameras that are trained on these water levels in the various cabins, so if we have a problem somewhere, we can diagnose it quickly. Being on the mountain, there's all sorts of reasons why we might not get water. A water main could break and empty out our tanks, a pump could shut down, or something simple that could break one of the many links in the chain of our water system. We do keep other parts here just in case. The building we're in now is our pool building, and we added this storage area for more water when we built our new pool. And this is also monitored with cameras to keep water levels. We're looking at building a new building to add to our water storage capacity. Definitely an eye-opener on everything it takes for all our cabins to get water, and essentially we have our own little water treatment plant just for our community. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, Karen is back at the cabin and she's getting ready to decorate for Christmas. I noticed that the remote for the TV wasn't working. I changed the batteries and it still wasn't working. Remotes are usually pretty reliable. They last longer than the life of the TV usually. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm suspecting that maybe it got wet, and I'm wondering if it actually got dunked in the hot tub or something. I'm going to work on my floor here. I brought my floor tool. A couple of these planks kind of slid towards this kitchen sink, and there's a little crack that shows, so I'm trying to pull these seams together. Spent the rest of the day putting up the Christmas decorations with Karen. I put the outdoor lights on the deck and she set up the tree. And then I was surprised to see the fireworks display. When I first saw it, I told Karen that must be because I was voted president of the HOA. But it's really coming from Dollywood. It's just on the other side of that mountain there, down in the valley. And Dollywood puts out fireworks usually in the summertime, from mid-June to mid-August, but I guess they're having some Winterfest going where they're doing it on every weekend, so that was kind of neat. Last time we were here in August, there were some issues with the security cameras, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was, but the date, after a while, always shows up to be some kind of date in 1970. Even if I reset it, it takes maybe about a week and a half, but it goes back to the year 1970. And when it does that, it stops recording motion. So the only thing I can figure is that there's a little like watch type battery in there that might hold memory. Okay, we'll reboot this back up. I'll reset the timer on the clock and we'll see what happens. It's going to take, like I said, a week and a half, so we won't be here if it happens again. Weather's been pretty decent. We just wanted to get out, stretch our legs, and get some fresh air. Went down in the park for a little bit. They did get about a foot of snow up in the mountains a couple days ago, and it sure looks pretty when you have those snow-capped mountains. Another one of our stomping grounds that we like to take our dog because they're pet friendly in that area is a place called the Island. And the Island is in Pigeon Forge. It's very touristy, but it's a neat place to walk around. It's full of little shops. There's a lot of things to do there. There's things for kids. There's things for adults. There's moonshine places. There's this fountain here that it goes to the music. Sometimes they'll have live music and bands playing. So it's a nice little place to walk around. Like I said, Willow likes to go there. She thinks she owns the place. She gets a lot of pets from everybody. And of course they redecorate it for the change of different seasons. They might have it all set up for fall. And of course during Christmas it's beautiful. They have a lot of lights out there, a lot of displays. Just a great place to walk around. Okay, when the remote went bad, I right away ordered one at Amazon to see if I could get it here before we left, and I had it sent to our cleaner's house, and she was kind enough to drop it off on her way to cleaning one of the other cabins. There you go, $8 remote, and it's working again. So I do suspect that it probably got dropped in a hot tub, because you can see the TV from where you sit in a hot tub, and maybe people were using it there. When we arrived, I checked our propane level on our tank, and it was down to about 18%. So I called, and it takes them about 4 or 5 days ahead of the call, and they're coming here to top it off. But when he came, he hit my grill. He backed right into it, and I don't even know if he would have said anything if I wasn't watching. I told him that I would take care of it, because waiting for them if they wanted to replace it or do something about it would probably take a couple of weeks, and I really can't do that when I have renters coming in a few days. Well, as I'm always walking around looking for something that needs to be worked on or repaired, I noticed this piece of trim. Looks like it's about ready to fall off the house. I know some other pieces were put in with staples, and when the board and the temperatures change, that sometimes these staples work their way out. And I have had other trim pieces come loose like that. Actually, one fell off, and I had the builder come back and replace it and fix it. It's been a couple years now, so I'm not going to wait on them. I'm just going to go up there, put a couple screws in there. Once I got up there, I noticed that it looks like I'm going to have to put screws going all the way down to the right. Now, I was outside working on the grill. Something caught my eye way across the way, and it looked like there were a couple bears over there. So I ran inside, and I got my other camera that's got a nice zoom lens on there, and sure enough, yeah, there were 3 bears were out. So we had posted a video from our August trip, and these 3 bears were there. Of course, the 2 cubs were a lot smaller at the time, and they were hanging out in a dumpster, trying to find food from a new construction area. Mom and the two cubs seem like they're still hanging out, but the cubs are a lot bigger now.
And then they come over by.
We've had a pretty good track record so far. Every visit we've had this year, we've seen bears either in our community or in the national park. I wanted to install another camera, just like another backup camera. These are Blink cameras. You can buy them off of Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive. All they need are two batteries and some Wi-Fi, and then you have online storage that comes with the camera. You don't have to pay a monthly fee for it. I really like these cameras. They're pretty easy to set up. You can add as many as you want to. You have to have like a little hub usually when you get the initial camera, and then you can keep adding cameras to it. Now they say that these two batteries will last 2 years, but I'm assuming that's if the camera never takes a picture. So obviously the more recording it does, it's going to shorten the battery life, but I usually get about 6 months to a year out of the batteries depending on the area. Now setup is pretty easy. You just use your camera. There's a QR code inside of the security camera, and then basically you add it to the system you want. We have two systems. We have one at home, and then we have the one in Tennessee. So we're going to be adding this one to the Tennessee system. So it's all set up. It only took about a minute. Now it comes with a little mounting bracket here, and probably the most difficult thing for me is attaching the camera to this bracket. You put two screws, and that's not a big deal, and then you got to pop this onto the camera, and a lot of times you're not sure if you have it on there right, and like I said, for me this is always the hardest part. Now I want this one to just basically keep an eye on our basement door and our air conditioning unit down below. There have been some issues with other cabins nearby that have been tampered with, and I just want to be cautious.
Ew.
Well, it's towards the tail end of our trip, and the weather has been pretty decent. We saved today because we knew it was going to be one of the warmest days to go up to a place called Anaksia, and this is in downtown Gatlinburg. There's three ways you can get up there. Basically, it's on top of a mountain, and it overlooks Gatlinburg, and then it overlooks the Smoky Mountains on the other side. But you could take the ski chair like we're doing. You could take a gondola like you can see on the left, and they do have a shuttle that'll go up via a bunch of switchbacks on a maintenance road. So once you're up there, there's gorgeous scenic views. You can see nice views of Gatlinburg, nice views of the Smoky Mountains. There's a lot to do up here. You saw the zip lines. There's a lot of food, different restaurants, little food stands, some shops. It's very quaint. It's very nice. Of course, it's a touristy type thing, but it's very well done. It's a great place to hang out. We timed this so we could take advantage of the warm days. It's about mid 60s today, and we came up about an hour and a half before the sun's going to go down so we can enjoy a nice sunset and then maybe see the Christmas lights kind of pop as it starts getting darker. This is something new since the last time we were here, and it's an observation tower that they built. You walk up via steps, and it gives you great views, shows you what direction you're looking at. Very beautiful and pretty cool to watch the sun go down. Again, this area gets decorated for the season. In the fall, they really do it up nice for Halloween, and now they have it, of course, done for Christmas. Here's a few more sights and sounds of the area before we start heading down. Well, it was really nice to enjoy 65 degrees in December, especially being from Ohio. Really had a nice time up there. Once the sun went down, it did start to get a little bit chilly, so we're heading down. A little walk through Gatlinburg and back to the car. Coming up on our last day, we're just going to hop into the park for a little bit, enjoy some of the scenic views. I got a few more odds and ends to take care of before we head out. So, I got a few tools out. I straightened out the grill best I could, got my level. So, it might be better than it was before. It's not going to be the last time somebody's going to back into it. I got a few more projects to do while we're down here. The weather's gotten nice in the end of the week, which always seems typical when I come down here. It's always the nicest just when we're getting ready to leave. But I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoy these videos. Subscribe and keep an eye on us. Here, get used to this view.